What does the computers have to do with it?
They have videos of me doing this. Crazy sex.
He's just a wayward child, guys. He's just a small child who's 51 years old. Well, at least he's not the president's son. Hunter Biden is apparently the smartest person that Joe Biden knows, which is incredible because what this means is that Joe Biden just spends his days hanging around 5-year-olds. That is the only plausible explanation for how Hunter Biden is the smartest person that he knows, because kids are unintelligent and Hunter Biden is really unintelligent. And so I have picked the age of 5, because if you go to the age of 6, Hunter Biden still would not be the smartest person that Joe Biden knows. So now we have this story about Hunter Biden, in which he violates all the rules of prostitution. According to the UK Daily Mail, Hunter Biden claimed that Russians stole one of his laptops for blackmail while he was close to overdosing in a Las Vegas hotel room, the Daily Mail can reveal. The alleged incident would mean Hunter lost a total of 3 computers. The first, abandoned a Delaware computer store. The second, seized by federal agents. Like, this is a weird way to lose computers, by the way. Like, if you've ever lost a computer, it's usually like you were on a plane and then you just forgot it there. But to lose 3, and the first one you abandoned at a computer store and just forgot about it. And the second one was seized by federal agents. And the third was stolen by the Ruskies. I will say your record with computers is extremely poor, and you really should think about a more mobile form of technology at this point. The third laptop apparently is still missing. It was taken by Russian drug dealers after they partied with Hunter in Vegas. He told a prostitute in a conversation caught on camera. So here's what happened. He filmed himself having sex with the woman using his laptop in January 2019, and then decided, you know what? We need like some after roll here, right? It's like the after the credits section of the sex tape. He left the camera rolling as he recounted a Vegas bender in which he spent 18 days going around from penthouse suite to penthouse suite, sometimes costing $10,000 a night. But don't worry, guys. He is very well qualified. He earned all that kind of money by being the smartest person that Joe Biden knows. He didn't use the Biden name in any way, shape, or form to get extremely wealthy and then use all of that money on coke-fueled binges with multiple prostitutes, moving hotel to hotel. No, he's brilliant. I mean, like in Joe Biden's Rolodex of brilliant people that he knows, and there's so many brilliant people he knows. I mean, his wife is a doctor, for one. I mean, like the greatest doctor in all the land. And then you got Hunter, who is just a world-beating businessman, like an incredible, incredible businessman. It's really an impressive show. So here was a little bit of what it sounded like when Hunter was speaking to this prostitute who had to be like, God, you're so boring, but you're also paying me $2,000 an hour. Ugh, I can't even. But at the same time, the money is so good. And if I tell him that this can of Parmesan cheese that I just picked up at the grocery is Coke, he will hand me another $100,000. So the prostitute is very, I would say, lax in allowing him to speak to her this way. Here's what the tape sounded like.
My computer, like taking tons of just left that cam on. He would always put it. He had my passcode and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. And somebody stole them during that period of time.
What does the computers have to do with it?
They have videos of me doing this. They have videos of me doing crazy sex. You know?
Crazy effing sex. And she's like, well, then what did you just pay me for? So that's weird. And also, the P tape is real, but it stars Hunter Biden. Now, the reason we're leading with this story is, number one, because it's hilarious. But number two, because if this were Donald Trump Jr., you know that it would lead every network news hour for like the next month. But it's Hunter Biden, so he's just a wayward child, guys. He's just a small child who's 51 years old. Right? He's just a very small, wayward child who's 14 years my senior. That's all. And who happens to be like one of the worst people I've ever heard of. But also the smartest person that Joe Biden knows. And who is still going around, like picking up bags of cash based on his daddy's last name. Although now he's become a great artist, we know. Right? Which explains the dissolution. Usually you have to be the artist first before you can be a dissolute artist. But he actually started with the dissolution and then he became an artist, which is actually going at it sort of ass backwards, right? He started off with the coke-fueled binges and the benders with prostitutes. And then he moved into making crappy art, as opposed to usually it's the other way around, which is you start off as an artist and then you like move into the artist dissolute lifestyle. So He really likes to do everything, I think, in new and interesting ways. As you know, I've been doing a lot of interviews about the brand new New York Times bestselling book, The Authoritarian Moment. And when I have to do an interview, the earbuds that I rely upon are, of course, my Raycons. I need them in my ears because, frankly, I can't afford to drop the call. They fit my ear perfectly. They've got the gel tips, so I can customize them to fit my ear just the way I like them to fit. They have a really long battery life, like 32 hours, so I'm not always charging them. And they start at half the price of other premium audio brands, and they sound just as good. Raycons come with a 45-day happiness guarantee as well, so you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually try them out and make sure that you love them the way that I do. Again, there's so much that you can do with your Raycons. You can be listening to podcasts. You can be listening to my brand new audiobook. You can be listening to music. You can be taking phone calls. I do all of the above, and you can as well. Head on over to buyraycon.com/ShapiroYT to get 15% off your Raycon purchase, or click the link in the description box below. Again, go check them out right now. Buyraycon.com/ShapiroYT. Get 15% off your Raycon order today. Brought to you by Raycon. So, a few things about this. One, my understanding is that this means he has violated like all of the rules of prostitution. Okay, so Hugh Grant famously suggested about prostitution, right? He was dating Elizabeth Hurley. You'll recall was he married to Elizabeth Hurley at the time? May have been married to her, but he was at least dating her at the time, and he was stripping prostitutes on the side. And everybody was like, "Wait up, you're married to Elizabeth Hurley, and you are going to prostitutes?" And Hugh Grant, his line about this was, "I don't pay them for the sex; I pay them to leave." Okay, well, okay, fair enough. Apparently, Hunter Biden never really got the message, and so he just talks to the prostitutes also. Which is like, okay, all right. Okay, so he's violating all the rules of prostitution as I understand them. And granted, I'm not the world's greatest expert on prostitution, but I feel like these are fairly ironclad rules. One, don't use them. Two, if you are going to use a prostitute, don't talk to them about all your life problems, because you're literally having to pay them for sex, so they don't care about them, and they probably are not great repositories of information. Like, I don't think that they are big on the NDA per se. Like, it doesn't seem like the most trustworthy crowd. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Okay, and then number three, if you are going to talk about all your life problems, being a famous person like Hunter Biden, if you are in fact going to do that, then probably don't talk on tape, on a laptop, right? That's rule number three. Rule number four, if you are going to, one, have sex with a prostitute, two, talk to the prostitute about all your life problems, three, do all of it on tape, on your laptop, then four, what you talk about should not be how your prior laptops have been stolen to your great discontent, because that creates a sort of incentive structure for people to steal your laptop. And it turns out, of course, that this laptop did not end up in his hands, just like every other laptop. So, guys, if you're ever at the airport and you see Hunter Biden there and you really have to go to the bathroom and your laptop is in your backpack, do not ask Hunter Biden to watch your backpack. Do not do it. It is not going to end well in any way, shape, or form. What a delight Hunter Biden is. And by the way, if you ask questions about this, this means you're bad. How dare you? Because Hunter Biden is a wonderful, wonderful man. And we know he's a wonderful man because his last name is Biden, and Joe Biden is a wonderful man. My favorite part of this is really great. The prostitute asked Hunter if he was worried. Remember, he said that he had a laptop and the Russians stole it. Quote from the Daily Mail. The prostitute asked Hunter if he was worried the Russian alleged thieves would try to blackmail him. Hunter replied, "Yeah. In some way, yeah. My dad is running for president. He is. I talk about it all the time. If they do, he also knows I make like $1 gazillion." Hunter appeared to be dismayed that if the video is sold by the alleged thieves to porn news companies, he would be unable to cash in on the explicit videos himself. Yeah, because there's a huge market, it turns out, for Hunter Biden sex tapes. It's like One Night in Paris, except with a slightly overweight, dissolute politician's son. The huge market for that sort of thing. He said, quote, "I'm worried he gets the money up front, and maybe it doesn't do $1 million. Maybe it does 3. Maybe nobody wants to see me naked. Maybe it's news interest, and because my dad's a public figure, they say, we don't have to pay you anything because you're of interest in regular news." The prostitute said, "I think you should just beat him to the punch. I think you should release your own video." That's spectacular. Okay, like, I love that Hunter Biden, the smartest person that Joe Biden knows, his big business idea is, what if I screw a prostitute, put it on my laptop, and then sell the tape? No, I guarantee you, there's a breed of man who, when he's dating a woman, or when he's trying to date a woman, he's not even dating her, when he's trying to date a woman, he thinks that the best available thing that he can do to woo a woman is to send a picture of his, right? There is that breed of man. And I've always thought, who is that guy? Like, who is the guy who thought, you know what? What this random woman really wants is a picture of my job. We know who the guy is now. The guy's Hunter Biden, right? He's like, I have a money-making proposition for you, prostitute lady. My money-making proposition is we go halvesies on the sex, and then we also go halvesies on the sex tape. Or I pay you nothing. But my favorite part there is where she asks him explicitly, aren't you afraid you'll be blackmailed? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, cool. Isn't that what's going on? It's not good. Okay, by the way, photos on the laptop hard drive obtained by the Daily Mail include pictures of a woman's Russian passport and photos of Hunter topless, pulling the woman's brunette hair while she kneels on a bed. Other photos show the woman and 3 young men driving to Hunter's former Hollywood Hills rented home, drinking and partying by the pool, and 2 women naked with Hunter by the pool. It's unclear whether the Russian woman and the 3 men are the same people Hunter accused of stealing his laptop. So the good news is that all got sent to the cloud. So apparently he could re-download that to the new computer to make sure that he had it with him wherever he went. Now, some people, we like to have pictures of our wives and our kids on the cloud. Hunter has very important things, like random people he has sex with and does drugs with on the cloud. Well, at least he's not the president's son. At least that. Who's got 2 thumbs and wants you to like and subscribe?